Hi everyone, it's Miss Alva here. This week I am going to talk about finding the volume of a rectangular prism when you only have the dimensions, when you only have the length, the width, and the height. You don't have it built with unit cubes. So last week we talked about volume of rectangular prisms by counting how many unit cubes it took to build the shape. But you don't always see prisms built with unit cubes. For example, your Amazon boxes, your tissue boxes. You can't see the unit cubes that are building them up. So there is a formula that you can use when you only have the measurements and you don't see the cubes. So here is the formula. It's volume equals the area of the base multiplied by the height. So your first step is to find the area of the base. What does that mean? Think back to 4th grade when you were finding the area of rectangles. The base of a rectangular prism, you can see it in the name, is a rectangle. So you know how to find the area of rectangles. It's length times width. So here's a picture, an example of the bottom layer of the prism, the base of the prism. So our length is going to be 5. Now take a look at the base of the prism and think in your head, what's the width? And if you were thinking 3 just then, you're correct. So let me show you how I got those numbers. Here I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cubes across the length, and then 1, 2, 3 across the width. So that means the area, which is length times width, is 15. Now that you have the area, the first part of the formula, you just need to find the height. And maybe you already know. You can look at this prism and think, okay, what's the height? How many cubes is making up the height? So I really like this picture because it shows you the 2 layers really clearly. There are 2 layers of this base. So that means the height is 2. And you can go back to this prism and see if you were to just count 1, 2 cubes. So we already have the area of 15. And then we just talked about the height being 2. So the volume is the area of the base multiplied by the height. The volume is 30. 15 times 2 equals 30. And this is how you always need to label your volume because it's 3 dimensions. So just like area, you use square centimeters or square inches, and volume you use cubic centimeters or cubic inches because we're counting the number of cubes it takes to build that shape. So here's an example when you don't have cubes. So it says, what is the volume of the Amazon box below? So it's 6 inches by 6 inches by 4 inches. So your first job is to label the length, the width, and the height. So I'm going to just call this side the length, which is 6, and this side the width, which is 6. Then that's going to make this the height. So, So we said our length was 6, our width was 6, and our height is 4. So now I'm going to find the area. The area is the length times the width. So that would be 6 times 6, which equals 36. Now the volume is the area of the base times the height. Since we just found the area of the base, which was 36, we're going to multiply that by 4. Now, the best practice would be not to use a calculator, but I obviously can't I can't see if you're using a calculator, but if you got the answer of 144, you're correct. And since it's inches,